Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my first video of 2022. All right, so this is January 8th, guys. I'm filming this on January 8th. I don't know when this is gonna go up, but I want to acknowledge that it is January 8th. It is I don't want to say if it's special day, but it's a very nostalgic day because today is the 17th year of my dad passing away. I cannot believe it's 17 years. I feel super old. He passed when I was 15. Hence, I'm 32 years old and turning 33 this end of November. Anyway, I was 15 when he passed, and it was a very tough time. I'm not going to go into detail about what that time was, but I just want to acknowledge it. I feel super old, guys. 17 years. Wow. It's flown by. I really don't even know how this has flown by, but I think he'd be proud of me, and I do miss him on days like this, and I do acknowledge that this is an anniversary, right? But normally I get sad on these days, but I'm actually super excited for this year. I'm super excited for what God has in store. So what I'm actually feeling today is a lot of joy, some nostalgia, and a lot of joy. I'm an open person, and so I wanted to share that piece. Let's get started with this video, guys, on how to visualize the life that you want. If you want to hear my feedback on how to do that, then keep on watching. All right, so it is the new year, and typically people will set resolutions for the new year. Excuse my French, but I actually believe that resolutions are some bullshit. I don't think that resolutions always work. Especially when you push everything for the new year. You're just I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna transform myself into this completely new person into the new year. So resolutions can sometimes be unrealistic. Instead of resolutions, I tend to use the word intentions, because to me, an intention is, I have the wholehearted intention to be a better version of myself, or to work on certain things that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I just set myself with that intention, and I won't create a resolution, or I won't, set an unrealistic standard for myself. But one thing that's been really on my mind is how to create the life that I want to have. Last year was a very tough year for me. I want things to go differently this year. I realized that the way that I was living my life last year was just not the best way, and there were things that were beyond my control. But I was just thinking about this last night, guys. I woke up late. I woke up in the middle of the night to pray, and I was listening. I was falling asleep. Don't worry, I'll get into the points of this video, but just to share about last night, I was listening to Oprah's audiobook called The Path Made Clear. And I was trying to fall asleep, and I couldn't fall asleep, and so there was a statement that was made in the audiobook, not to get into the statement, but it just made me think. And so I woke up and I started just thinking about last year, and I started realizing I know that a lot of these things were beyond my control, but I wish I wouldn't have stayed in situations longer, I wish I wouldn't have stayed in situations that weren't meant for me longer than I did, And so that being said, I believe this year I've been thinking a lot about that there are things that are beyond our control, absolutely, and that we can have faith that there's certain things that are going to go well for us. You know, like I think that having the hope that things are going to go well or that things are going to go in a certain way is totally okay, and that you can create the life that you want. So with this video, I'm going to share with you guys 5 ways on how to visualize the life you want for 2022. So the first one is faith it till you make it. And I'm calling it faith, and I'm calling it speaking things into existence. I'm not going to call it manifest. I think that, you know, the verbiage is used in different ways. I'm not calling it manifest. So you don't have to believe what I believe, but I personally believe that there is a higher power, and to me that is God, you know? And I believe that having faith in God, that he will help me with these goals, is what really is going to make a difference, you know? And so to me, it's faith it till you make it, basically. So to me, that really means in like speaking things into existence, really believing in the power of your words, and believing that, to me personally, believing in not that your words have power because it's you, but that your faith has power. To me, like I said, that's faith in God. And so one of the things that you could visualize the life that you want is believing in things as though they already are. You know, like, for example, I guess I'll use myself as an example. Today I launched Child Haven Therapy, which is a space where I'll be providing education on how to prevent and treat child sexual abuse trauma, including child sex trafficking. So one of the things that I believe is that Child Haven is going to have a lot of impact in many people's lives. And so, you know, one of the things that you can do that is that believing as though it is, you know, and there's just many ways that you can do that. You could do a vision board. You could write it, write it. The Bible states, I'll just quote one of my favorite scriptures, which is Habakkuk. I'm blanking on exactly which scripture that is, but I'm going to put it down. And it says, write the vision and set it plain. And so it talks about how you can write a vision and believe and have faith that it will happen, you know? And so I am a writer. Like, I love to write, and I do believe that writing or speaking in things into existence can really help. And so one of the things that actually my cousin, shout out to my cousin Melissa, she's been talking to me about scripting. And scripting is just writing things as though they are, right? Like, for example, let's say you want to get married. You start writing as how your wedding is going to be. You start writing about the type of person that you're going to be with. And so for this year, start like having faith that you will accomplish certain goals for yourself, or that you may, one of the things that I'm very passionate about this year is like, how do I see myself being? What type of woman do I see myself being this year? What type of energy do I allow in my life? What type of people do I see myself being around? What type of experiences do I see myself having? So I think that's one way of visualizing, right? Is having faith, basically faithing it till you make it, right? Basically, like, instead of faking it, just faithing it, having faith that this will happen. And like I said, there are many ways that you can do that. You could write it, you could do a vision board, you could do, I'm a therapist, so one of the things I've done with kids is like, I've bought like little wooden treasure boxes. Like, I've asked them to write down like what they see themselves accomplishing this year, or things that they hope will happen, in like little pieces of paper, and like folding them and putting them inside the treasure box. So there's just so many ways that you can start visualizing the life that you want. A second way of visualizing the life that you want is plan it. Definitely use resources like a planner, use a calendar, start planning things for yourself. Start structuring, maybe start structuring a routine. Structure, how would you like your morning to go? Visualize the mornings that you would like to have. Visualize the nights before bedtime you would like to have. Visualize the trips you would like to take, and all of that can happen only by planning it. For example, me, I want to I want to join some fitness classes, right? Just because, not just to the losing weight part, but just for health and for feeling better about myself and feeling like more energy. So the only way that fitness class is going to happen is if I actually plan it, if I actually book that fitness class and set a date. So definitely set a date and plan it. All right, and the third way of visualizing the life you want, I would say, is by choosing and being selective. Be selective about the people who you want in your life. Be selective. One of the things that I was reflecting on about last year is that I didn't have a great time last year, and I was often crying. I was often sad. I was often anxious. And I realized that it was spaces that I was allowing myself to be in, that it was people that I was allowing myself to be in. And so I obviously cannot control what people do, or I cannot control others, right? Like, I cannot control if someone wants to be hurtful, or if someone wants to be stressful. I cannot control what they want to do. But what I can control is whether I allow people like that in my life. So one of the things that you could visualize the life that you want is by actually choosing the people that you want in your life. Like, ask yourself this question: how do I feel when I am with so-and-so? If the answer is, I feel sad, I feel anxious, I feel stressed, I feel like there's drama all the time, then maybe that's your answer as to that's not the type of person that you would want. I do believe that the people that we surround yourself with could really determine how we excel or not excel in our lives. I believe that the people that we surround ourselves with can really, shift the way that we feel. Not that they are in control of our emotions, but the reality is that they could really influence the way that we feel and the way that we act. I realize that my spirit is very sensitive, and that I cannot be around certain people. Nidra Tawwab, I think, and excuse me if I'm mispronouncing her name, but she's an Instagram therapist. She's a therapist on Instagram, sorry, is what I meant. And she shares, she writes a lot on boundaries. And one of the quotes that she shared, or one of the posts that she shared, that there's certain people that are not good for you, but they are not bad people. So basically, like, someone could be a completely amazing person or a really great person, but they just might not be great for me, right? Anyone that I'm dating or anyone that I'm being friends with, they could be a good person, they could be a nice person, but they're just not the right person for me, right? There's just certain personalities that really don't align with me, and that don't make me feel always motivated. And so I realized that a big barrier that I was having in accomplishing my goals in the life I wanted to last year was the people I was surrounding myself with, and the situations I was allowing in my life longer than they should have stayed. And so that to me, that's a big factor into visualizing the life that you want. Okay, the fourth way of visualizing the life that you want is by setting intentions and being kind and patient with yourself. Being kind and patient with the process. So like I said, resolutions to me are not realistic. So intentions, what I like to do is, I don't know if you guys have seen my planet with my plan and journal with me videos. I hope to do more of those this year. Anyway, I sometimes do those videos, and one of the things that I do is I love to do like scrapbook journaling, and I like doing bullet journaling. And one of the things that I do is that in one of my spreads, so I'll write the month, like I'll write, okay, January, right? And then in another spread, I will write January dates, and I will just write, the dates of January, like important dates that I want to remember for January. And then in the third spread, I will write January intentions, and I will write, usually I'll do like 4 or 5 intentions, and then I'll write things that I'm intending to do. Let's say being kinder to myself, or being more confident in such and such area, or let's say study for an exam. So I would just write those as intentions. And to me, the word intention is a lot kinder and a lot more realistic than sort of this resolution or have to thing that I will feel horrible if I don't do it, So intention to me is like, I will aim for the moon, but it's okay if I don't always aim for the moon and maybe fall under the stars or fall somewhere that's not close to the moon. You know what I'm saying? So setting intentions is very important, and being kind to yourself in the process, guys. Like, hey, we're all human. We're not perfect. It's like, hey, for example, me, right? I want to be eating healthier or whatever. It's like, hey, maybe I ate out twice that week. It's like, instead of like calling myself names for it or making myself feel bad for it, I could say, hey, you actually did this. So what were the barriers that contributed for you doing this? Like, how can you tackle these barriers next time? And just try again next time, girl. Like just completely being kind with myself about it, and not being mean to myself about it, because that really doesn't help anyone. And lastly, to visualize and create the life that you want is to not give up. I think last year I keep referencing last year because it just wasn't a good year for me. Or I don't want to say it wasn't a good year, because I did learn a lot. I did gain a lot of wisdom that I'm definitely using to propel me for this year. But it wasn't like a fun year. It wasn't a nice year. But anyway, whatever. So one of the things that I realized is that I started doing something like Child Haven, right? Like, I started that vision for Child Haven. I started writing what I wanted. I met with a life coach. There were so many barriers that I had last year, that some, like I said, were beyond my control, some not. But there was just so many barriers that impacted my mental health last year, for example, that I was not able to accomplish what I wanted for last year. But at least I laid the foundation. I started talking through my ideas with a life coach. I started it, you know what I'm saying? And so with that, I'll share with you guys, I didn't give up. Maybe I didn't accomplish everything last year, but I didn't give up. I picked myself right back up. I realized, I picked myself back up like over 1,000 times last year. You know what I mean? And I didn't give up. You know what I mean? One of the things I realized last year, and that I knew, I actually told myself this, I know what I've been called to do. I know what my God-given calling is. And I'm not going to let anything get in the way of that. And so one of the things that I did that was huge last year is that I ended relationships, situations, jobs, whatever, not because like they were bad, not because a job was bad or a relationship or a person was bad, just because it wasn't the right thing for me. It was getting in the way of my purpose. I ended those things and I chose something different that was more in alignment with what I wanted to do. Sometimes jobs may not be like a bad job, but maybe they aren't as flexible, for example, and they're not going to be, for me, like one of my goals is to be an entrepreneur. So I realized that the job I had wasn't as flexible, right? So it wasn't going to allow me the time or the energy for me to like hone into my business goals. So I don't have to stay in a job forever that's not going to align with my long-term goals. You know what I mean? Maybe at the time it absolutely aligned with my goals and it helped me be a better professional in some way, but long term it just didn't align. So what I'm trying to tell you is like what I'm trying to tell you is that I realized that I needed to have things in my life that align with me and that give me the opportunity to accomplish my goals. And once I realized that last year, I was like, okay, let me continue and do my goal. What do I need to do to accomplish this goal? Maybe I didn't complete my strategic plan, for example, for 2021, but I realized that I needed to do the things that were in alignment that would propel me so I can do that goal. And so even though last year was a flop, it's like, nah, even though last year didn't go as well, I didn't give up is what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm not going to give up. So don't give up. Even if you're having issues, let's say you're having health problems, physical problems, mental health problems, illnesses in the family. That's what was going on too last year. I had some stuff going on with my family. Let's say whatever it is that you're having, maybe give yourself time to, maybe it's okay if a season of your life you're just focused on surviving because life is so rough. But once you pick yourself back up and lay that foundation, keep on going and don't give up. J-Lo said this once, and I don't know who else said this once. I think this quote tends to be repeated by a lot of people, is failure isn't pausing or taking breaks. Failure is stopping, Failure is completely giving up. So don't give up on the goals that you have for yourself. Don't give up on visualizing the life that you want. I know that you can do it. There's so much impact in creating the life that you want to see. I think it was in 2020, I went to Atlanta, and I traveled to Atlanta by myself. I do like solo trips because they will give me the biggest aha moments. And one of the things that I realized from going to that trip to Atlanta by myself was that I can create happiness for myself, that I don't need anyone else to create that happiness for me or with me. Yeah, it's absolutely nice to have people in your life who can do that and who could add to the happiness, but happiness is already inside me. And I had so much fun in that trip, and I experienced so much joy. So I'll end you guys with this, that you can create the life that you want. The life that you want is already inside you. The happiness that you want is already inside you. And so I want to say I really appreciate you all. It's mostly women that subscribe to my channel. And one of the things that I've always I'm always aiming to do is to empower women. Like they say, empowered women empower women. And I really hope that this message today was empowering. And I really hope that the content that I continue to create this year is empowering to you. So if you like my content, definitely subscribe. I appreciate you. I appreciate those watching. I appreciate my subbies. You guys are amazing. My channel is gonna be 2 this year. I'm so excited. And so I'm so excited for, this space and what it's doing and what it's gonna do. This space is as much yours as it is mine. And so don't forget to enter the giveaway. Doing a 300 subscriber giveaway. I'm close to having 300 subscribers. And so once I hit 300, I will be giving out a $150 gift card to 2 lucky winners. And so basically a total of $300. One winner will get $150, the other winner will get $150. Gift card, it could be any gift card of your choice. Giveaway is international, so all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, my 2 Instagram accounts, at Introspective Pura and at K Pura Makeup. Comment on this video with the highlight of your year, last year. Actually, comment on the highlight of last year and the highlight that you hope you'll have this year. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on my next video. Bye.